Good afternoon. We are here in Barcelona at CIDOB for the kick-off meeting of the MENARA project. And I'm here together with Eduard Lecha, who is the senior researcher in CIDOB and is the scientific coordinator of the MENARA project, and Nathalie Tocci, which is deputy director of the EI in Rome and the policy director of the MENARA project. So first, this is a big question and a big starting question for your project, Eduard. You actually wrote it in your paper for the kickoff. How can we make sense of the region after 2011? That was the starting point of your question to design this project.
Exactly. In any case, that's what the project is supposed to do, is to help understand what's going on now, which are the origins of some of the features that we are now witnessing, and how is the region most likely to evolve in the years to come. And in that sense, which of the different futures that we can imagine for the region fits best the interest not only of the region but also those of Europe. To do that, 14 institutes over 3 years of time, a lot of work, a lot of inputs, a lot of research papers, but also policy papers that will try to grasp to a certain extent whether the countries and the societies are likely to move into a more conflict-driven situations, or they will be able to become more cohesive in a certain extent. We'll try to understand whether we will be facing a more fragmented region, or integration dynamics could also take shape, and we will try to understand how the region fits into global dynamics. Meaning, is this region disconnected from the global dynamics, or on the contrary, is it embedded on what's going on at the global stage? To do that, we'll have to work collectively, and we'll have to provide research of the highest quality, but also policy inputs for the decision makers, but also for the wider public.
Yes, but this project, Nathalie, is actually financed by the Horizon 2020 of the European Union. And you were saying in your presentation this morning at the kickoff meeting that the European Union has the problem of constructing its understanding of the region. What are the needs today of the outsiders when looking at the region?
Well, clearly it is quite clear that what is happening in the region is no longer something happening out there, but it is coming to us. So in a sense, Europe is part of the region, and we see it with the refugee flows, we see it with energy dynamics, we see it on terrorism. We are part of this big mess, if you like. Now, obviously, so what is not an option is to retrench, close off, put up the walls. We cannot keep the world outside, the world is coming to us, and therefore we have to react to what is happening to the region. But the problem is, if we only react, meaning, and this is what we're doing at the moment to an extent, inevitably, jumping from reacting to one crisis to the other, we don't have a sort of sense of direction moving forward. We don't have a compass moving forward. And we need that compass because we are part of, if you like, this extended region. But in order to have a compass and to have a sound compass, you need to first understand what is going on. You need to know that maybe many of your assumptions of the past were misplaced, and therefore the policy on which those assumptions were constructed were misplaced. But still, so clean slate, very good, but then you have to recreate a picture on which to create sound policy, and this is precisely what the MENARA project is about.
Because this is actually making a clear plate and looking for drivers of change. This is one of the objectives of the project. Yeah. How are you going to do this?
Well, basically what we'll have to do is to trace trends. So we will have to look also at which have been the drivers of the current regional order and how these trends are likely to project into the future, to identify historical breakthroughs, to ask and do research on whether we are actually in one of these historical breakthroughs, even a foundational moment to a certain extent. And once we've done that, also with a lot of research, we have to go on the ground. We have to talk to people. We have to talk to emerging leaders, social forces, to understand also how global players are reading also these changes in this turbulent region. So what it will mean is a lot of research, but also a lot of feedback also with the key actors of the region and from outside the region, but which have the capacity to also shape events and dynamics in the region.
For you, it means as an institute, as a for policymakers for the EU, you think this project means, what does it mean exactly?
Well, it essentially means having input, having ideas. To be honest with you, at the moment, there are not that many ideas around as to what to do. We're all at a loss looking at this unfolding mess in many respects. And as I said, we know that we cannot do what we used to do in the past, but we don't quite know what the future holds and therefore what we should be doing in future. And so beyond trying to extinguish fires here and there, we need to gradually, and this is inevitably going to take some time, recreate a more proactive policy. But a proactive policy has to be based on knowledge.
Exactly. This knowledge, for instance, will have to be able to imagine different scenarios and to identify whether the EU could play a role in moving the region and with Europe with it to one of those scenarios. We have to identify spaces of vulnerability. We have to identify which are the critical actors that can change the dynamics. We have to identify also which are the game changers that could move us into one direction or another.
Thank you and good luck for the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.